Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I've been meaning to do this video from a very long time, but I don't know why I just didn't do it. But in today's video I'm going to share everything about my endometriosis journey, the lifestyle changes I've made, the diet changes I've made, and everything related to it, because a lot of you guys message me asking me to tell you what I do, because you guys are also going through it. On my lips today I'm wearing Huda Beauty's lipstick, matte lipstick in the shade Graduation Day. This has been like my go-to shade. I just really like how this looks on my skin tone, so this is what I've been wearing from quite some time now. So if I'm looking down, it's because I have some stuff here and I don't want to miss out on anything. So the first thing is, how did I find out I had endometriosis? Now, ever since I got my first periods, it has always been extremely painful, like extremely painful. And in my head, I thought that I was the only one, not able to handle period pain, because I would see a lot of other girls be really, normal during those days. But I would have extreme period cramps, and like as I grew older, it just got worse. And I think when I was like 23, 24, around that age, it got so severe that I would have constant nausea, I would vomit a lot, I would have severe headache, and I would have cramps, like spasms, where if I would sit on the toilet, I wouldn't be able to get up, I wouldn't be able to stand straight and walk. But these were normal things, and I used to take the pain because someone had told me that if you take painkiller, it really causes a lot of issues in the future. So I had stopped taking any kind of painkillers and I would just tolerate the pain. But what happened is, I think around when I was like 25, the pain would not go. I would have this constant pain on the left side and right side, like both the sides, and it would be there every day. And I remember talking to people like, I'm having this pain, and everyone would say like, oh, maybe it's because of heat, just drink some tender coconut or have some curd. And there would be this constant heaviness. Now, only someone with endometriosis will understand what I mean by this heaviness, but there would be this constant heaviness in the lower part of my stomach, and it never went away. So I remember I have this video on my channel which is 20 minutes curl with finger. I remember that evening I filmed that video, and I decided that I'm going to go to the doctor, because other things that were happening was I was extremely low on energy. I would struggle to sleep. I had no appetite at all. I had absolutely no appetite. If I would go out with friends, if we are sitting, you would always see me lying on the table, because I had zero energy. I would hardly be able to walk or even stand for like more than 5 minutes. So these things started worrying me. So I decided to go to the doctor, and I went to the doctor, and he heard all my symptoms, and behind my prescription he wrote endometriosis question mark. Now, until then I had no idea what it meant or what that was. So he sent me for a scan, and I did take a scan, and then I had endometriosis, and that's how I found out. So that is why I tell people that if you have extreme period pain, it is not normal. Always go to your doctor. I know some doctors like just brush it off, saying, oh, you just have bad periods, there's nothing you can do. But take 2-3 opinions and find out if there is something wrong, because periods should hurt, but not to the point where you cannot move or cannot get up from the bed. That is not how it's supposed to be. So make sure you always see a doctor. Like I say in my previous videos, no question is small, nothing is silly. Just go ask your doctor, tell them that this is your problem, and do it, because I suffered from terrible period pains for the longest time. I know. Now, the second thing is medication. So as soon as I found out, the doctor had put me on antibiotics for some days. But when I asked him, what way we are going to go, First of all, he told me that this is chronic, which means there's no cure to it and I'm going to have to live with it. And he also explained to me how, on some days I'm going to be really normal, and on some days I will be in really, excruciating pain where I wouldn't be able to even like move. And that is what it is. Like when you have flare-ups, you know that even for me to turn on the bed, I would need help. I would need someone to like physically help me turn, because you just can't. The swelling is so bad that you just cannot turn. Now, when it came to medication, the first treatment that he suggested me was that he would put me on contraceptive pills for 9 months and stop my periods to see how that goes. Now, though I was in extreme pain, I had a flare up and I thought I was dying. Though I was in extreme pain, I knew that this is not something that I wanted, because stopping your periods is not normal. There's a reason nature's cycle works a certain way, and I did not want to interfere in it. And taking contraceptive pills, I really didn't understand why. And because I had some knowledge about contraceptive pills and I knew the side effects of it, when I asked him, he said, oh yeah, there are side effects, but there's nothing you can do. And I was not okay with that, so I refused to take that treatment. And I came back home and I was doing some research, and through research I realized that Ayurvedic helps a lot. So I chose to go see this Ayurvedic doctor, and she saw my reports and she said, like, you do have endometriosis, but the reason there's so much pain is because I also had a very bad UTI, and because of that, like my endo was also triggered. Now, if you have endometriosis, things like UTI, and even if you have like some kind of food infection, some kind of stomach infection, anything related to your stomach, even constipation for that matter, can really trigger your endometriosis and cause a lot of pain. That's why it's very important for girls with endometriosis to be really careful to not contract any kind of these infections, which is normal for other people, but for us it takes your endometriosis to next level. So she treated me for my urinary tract infection. That came down, but Ayurvedic was not for me. Though I have seen it help a lot of people, I was miserable in while taking Ayurvedic. And while I was taking Ayurvedic, I had 2 severe flare-ups, and she was not really able to help me with that. So after the second flare-up that I had, I decided that Ayurvedic is not for me, and I decided to go see a homeopathic doctor who is my doctor now. And she was the first person who really understood my pain, who understood all my symptoms. And once I started taking homeopathic, within a month she brought down my symptoms. Now, what were my symptoms after I was diagnosed with endometriosis is I had severe morning sickness. Like I would wake up in the morning and want to throw up, like all the time. Another thing is I was not able to eat or even smell food for that matter. Like smelling food would make me very sick. My energy would drop very quickly. Like you'd see me do something and suddenly my energy will drop. I will feel so tired and so weak that the only thing for me to do was to like take a nap or something. Next was hair fall. I was having severe hair fall. My skin was changing. I used to suffer with constipation all the time, and there were a lot of these symptoms that would make my life really difficult. I would have constant joint pain. Like I wouldn't be able to explain it. Like I would not have fever or anything, but my joints would always pain, and I was hardly able to walk for more than 5 minutes or stand for more than 5 minutes. Whatever I ate would cause severe pain. So these were my symptoms, and within 1 month, 1.5 months of taking homeopathy medicine, it brought it down. Now I'm not, that's the reason I say these things like medication and all of that is a very personal experience. Now, just because Ayurvedic didn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. I know a lot of people who have been taking Ayurvedic for endometriosis and it has worked excellent for them, but it didn't work for me. And for me, the only medication that worked is homeopathic. So that's why I say things like this you have to try out, and only then you will know what suits your body and what will personally help you out. So don't depend on things you see online. Of course you can get information online, but you never know how a certain thing will affect your body. So for that you need to really try it out, and only then will you find out. Now the next thing is diet. Now I feel like when it comes to endometriosis, diet is a very controversial subject. When I was going through flare-ups, and when I had these really severe flare-ups, I remember researching and reading that you shouldn't eat this food, you shouldn't eat that food, and all of that. And that put in so much fear in my head that I literally used to live on 1 carrot a day, or like just like 2 or 3 bites of rice and stuff like that. And my family was really worried, because they were worried I'd get some kind of eating disorder, because I would constantly Google, like if I want to eat something, I would Google how much estrogen is there in that, because that when you have endometriosis, anything with estrogen can cause a flare up or can cause inflammation. So I went crazy, like I was losing my mind behind food, and it was very difficult because I was losing weight. I was severely underweight, and plus I was constantly so scared to eat anything, to consume anything for that matter. And I remember going to the doctor, and my brother had actually complained to her saying, this is what is happening, we are worried because she's not eating anything, and if we offer anything, she's constantly Googling and all of that. Like it was crazy. I was driving myself crazy. And that's when doctor told me that you should stop Googling things and reading things online, because what you see online is never going to be your personal experience. And she told me that I can eat everything as an endometriosis patient. Now, like even when I eat something online, I get a lot of these comments saying, oh, you're going to get inflammation and all of that. I have realized in these 3 years that diet is a very personal subject, and it is not the same for everyone. For example, the first thing that they say is to cut out dairy from your diet if you have endometriosis. Now I love consuming ghee and milk. It has helped me a lot, especially with constipation and stuff like that, and it has helped me gain healthy weight. So dairy has never been a problem. For me, spicy food has never been a problem as well. My doctor is very well aware of the kind of spiciness I like, and spicy food has never caused inflammation for me. The only thing that has caused inflammation for me is sugar. And even when I say sugar, I still do eat chocolates. I still do consume dark chocolates. When I say sugar, I mean I cannot eat things like donuts. I cannot eat these gulab jamun, jalebi. Those things I cannot consume, because whenever I consume that, the next day I do wake up with inflammation. You can see that the lower part of my stomach is swollen. So for me, my trigger factor is sugar, so I do not consume a lot of sugary items a lot. Another thing is, when it comes to dairy also, like I'm completely fine with ghee and milk. I consume a lot of curd, which is good. I consume a lot of ghee in my food. Another thing is I cannot eat Alfredo pasta, because there's a lot of cheese that is involved in that. I cannot eat a lot of these cheesy things, like cheese causes inflammation for me. But if you see again, I'm able to consume other things that come under dairy, but I'm not able to consume cheese. So that is why it's very important for you to personally know what it is, to figure out what is going to cause inflammation. Because online there's a lot of things you can follow and all of that. In fact, I did stop consuming meat as well, and it didn't work for me. My doctor especially insisted that I do continue eating meat. Of course, I do not eat red meat, because I otherwise also very rarely used to consume it. I do eat chicken, I eat a lot of seafood, and I stick with these things, and these things have never caused any problems for me. So that's why I say it's a very personal experience. You really need to try and find out what is going to work for you. A lot of people say that, for them spicy food causes a lot of inflammation. For me, it does not. Spicy food has never been a problem. A lot of dairy products have never been a problem. I still do on some days consume things like donuts and all of that, but I know exactly when to consume it. Like, for example, my periods have become a lot better. Like, I do not suffer a lot during my periods. The period pain is very mild to almost not there. In fact, this last period, I almost didn't know when I got my periods. I do have months when I go through pain, but that really depends on other factors. So the timeline where I am too much in pain is right after I finish my periods, like the third or fourth day of my periods, till the day I ovulate. About like 10 to 12 days, I go through continuous pain. Like I wake up in pain almost every single day, and after that I go through another few days of absolutely no pain. Now, this is not the same for everyone. This is how my body works during endometriosis. That's why I say it's a very personal, experience. So during this time from my third day of the periods until the day I ovulate, I choose to control my diet a little, and after that I am allowed to eat anything because it does not cause any kind of inflammation. I do not go through any pain during that time. But this is how my body works. So I can only tell you what has been working for me. I won't be able to tell you how it is for you because it's a very different personal experience. Now, for me, one of the biggest factor when it comes to inflammation or causing pain has been stress, whether that is physical stress or mental stress. Whenever I call up my doctor or go to her saying I'm in pain, the first question she asks me if there was any kind of physical exertion or mental exertion, because that has been a very big factor for me when it comes to inflammation. Like, if I've just had a bad day and I'm mentally not feeling that great, or I'm stressed, the next day I wake up in pain. That is something that everyone around me knows. Or if I have done a lot of physical activity like cleaning and everything, and I haven't given myself rest, I wake up the next day with severe pelvic pain and inflammation. So one of the biggest enemy for endometriosis is stress. That's why I always keep telling how important it is for you to mentally stay calm and keep yourself really healthy here, so that your body does not follow it. My body follows very, very easily. So that's why I try my best to not take any kind of mental stress or physical stress. But otherwise, after I ovulate, I go through a few days of extreme comfort. I'm not in any kind of pain. I'm doing really well. And then I get my periods, and then the cycle repeats. It's like the same thing. So now I know how to control these things and how my body works. So that's how I kind of schedule few things, and that's how I work with it. Even on days when I do have inflammation, when I am suffering from pain, like today I did have extreme pain in the morning. I had it for a few hours, and now I have the after effect. Now, when I say after effect, again, only an endo girl will understand, is when after the pain comes down, you struggle to walk or move or stand or do anything that requires a little bit of energy. I do have the after effect. So during these times, I like consuming a lot of hot liquids like herbal teas. I drink a lot of green tea. Anyways, I do not consume chai or coffee, so that's not been a problem. So I consume a lot of green tea, a lot of hibiscus tea. Anything that is hot is going to soothe your inflammation. Now, with this, a lot of doctors, I don't know why they do not mention, is taking your vitamins really helps with inflammation. When you have endometriosis, your levels can drop very, very easily. When it comes to a normal person, you can get these deficiencies very easily. And when you take your vitamins, it helps a lot with inflammation, and it helps with a lot of other problems as well. Like for me personally, every time I have a flare up, I get severe shoulder pain just at this joint here, and that was because of iron deficiency. So I take a lot of vitamins. I take vitamin D, I take calcium, I take iron, I take cranberry extract like I showed you in one of my video, because my biggest fear right now is to get a UTI and I want to prevent it. So cranberry extract helps with that. I also take curcumin, which is haldi. You know, it is there in turmeric, and that's really good for inflammation. If you guys want, I can obviously show you guys all this in another video. I also take omega-3, that is extremely good when it comes to inflammation. But talk to your doctor, ask them what vitamins you have to take. These were the vitamins that my doctor gave me. These were the supplements she gave me, and it helps me a lot, especially with the energy, and especially with not having to feel lethargic and, you know, constantly feel tired. These vitamins really help me a lot. Now, of course, I still suffer from nausea sometimes in the mornings, so I take my vitamins at night so that I can go to sleep. I also make sure to consume milk and ghee. It has helped me with constipation a lot, because if you have endometriosis, you know that constipation can be a big problem. It can cause a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. So I like to eat foods which are rich in fiber, and also have ghee and milk, which helps me gain that healthy weight and also helps me with constipation. Now, another few extra points that I would like to give you guys is using heat. You can either use a hot bag or a heat belt. I go through these things depending on my pain. On some days I like applying the pressure. On some days I don't like applying the pressure, so on that day I use heat belt. Doing some form of stretching is very important, because when you stretch, it opens up this pelvic area and gives your, you know, uterus, your ovaries and fallopian tube and everything much more space. So whenever you are in pain, doing some kind of stretching helps a lot. I like sitting in that butterfly position, you know, like with my legs aside, and I like bending forward. That stretches the entire area and this area and gives a lot of relief. I do that during periods as well. Another thing I like to do is sleep well, because when you do not sleep well, also it can cause some kind of inflammation. I do go through phases of insomnia because of endo, but I make sure to rest and keep myself, you know, give my body that rest. Another thing is, do not, you know, put your body through a lot of physical stress. Like, even if you go out with friends and you're doing something, I like to give myself that rest. I keep sitting down, and even if I'm able to like do everything now, but I still choose to give my body that rest and not put my body through a lot of stress. And remember one thing, I know that having endometriosis is like the worst thing you can imagine. I swear, I spent 1 year of my life crying and being miserable, because I couldn't believe this was happening to me, and I didn't know how I'm going to get through this. How am I going to live a normal life? How am I going to do everything that, you know, normal girls do? Because I remember sitting and watching, you know, people on Instagram and seeing them go on treks, seeing girls of my age do trekking, going abroad and all of that, and it made me feel very miserable, because I knew that this was not going to be me. But remember, if you put in that little effort, and if you figure out how your body works, you can definitely live a normal life. My life has been quite normal from, you know, past like 1.5 years, because I've figured out how to deal with my body and how to live. So don't, you know, like, you can't help it. You have it now, and the best way is to still try and make sure that you live a normal life. I have not got surgery done till now. I have no plans of getting surgery done. As far as fertility is concerned, I feel like people with worse conditions are getting pregnant, so that has not been a worry for me at all. I don't think I'm, you know, worried about the fact that I might not get pregnant and stuff like that. That has not been a problem. For some people, sexual intercourse is problem. It causes a lot of pain, and another problem is that you are not in the mood. So these things, if you are going through, you need to talk to your doctor about it, because they will be able to help you out better. And just know that it is very much possible to live a normal life with endometriosis, with pain. You just need to learn how to deal with your body, and I promise you, we can get through this. You're not alone. I remember for the first year of my life with endo, I felt so lonely. I felt like nobody is understanding my pain, nobody gets what I'm going through. But you are not alone. We are all there. We are a community. We can get through it. Another thing that has been a trigger factor for me when it comes to inflammation is fried foods. Like I don't eat a lot of fried items, and even if I am ordering food from outside, I made sure not to binge on it. Like, don't eat too much. I understand, we all have cravings, and we all are human by the end of the day. You can have a little to satisfy your craving. Don't binge on anything, because that can be a problem. Like, I was the kind of girl who could sit with one tub of ice cream and finish it in one sitting, but now I still do consume ice cream, but I have little just to satisfy my craving at that moment, and that's about it. So learn how to control the quantity and everything to make life a little easier. I hope I've been able to cover most of the topic in this video. If I have missed out anything, please leave comments in the comment section, and I will make sure to make another video explaining all those queries. But other than that, I hope you all do well, and that's it for the video, guys. I will meet you guys in my next video. Until then, bye. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it as well. Do not be miserable. Do not put yourself in depression. Don't be depressed about it. I was for a year. But remember, my doctor would always tell me one thing, and that is something I always kept in mind. Whenever I would go to her and she would find out that I am not doing that well mentally, she would always tell me, Miriam, it could have always been worse. Now, of course, this, it's not like in a negative sense, but it is to put in that gratitude in you, to know that you are still doing better than a lot of people. So always have that gratitude and be grateful to God that you are still able to push through it. You are still able to get through it. So yeah, be grateful. And if you are going through endometriosis, you are one of the most strongest people I will know, because I know how much strength it takes to go through so much pain on an everyday basis and still be able to accomplish a lot of things. So stay strong, and we'll get through this together.